Hello, I'm Julian Mather. I'm a first-time granddad, a long-time learner, and this is Best Grandad, a curious, messy, heartfelt quest to be the best granddad I can be. This is week one, how becoming a granddad changed my view of the future. So let's get into it.
The best gift you can give your grandkids isn't stuff, it's you.
Who am I? Well, that's probably a good place to start. I'm formerly a sniper, a cameraman for ABC TV and National Geographic, a magician, an author, a speaker, and now I'm a wannabe best granddad. And one of the things I talk about as a speaker is what I call changeability, or this ability to change, which is a really important skill to have in a fast changing world. And really one of the key tenets of that is that change is not a process, it's a decision. So quite often we think, well, all I've got to do is take the steps and eventually I'll get to where I want to be. It doesn't work that way. Change, and you know this, you'll be driving home and something's been on your mind, you want to make a change and you slam the steering wheel and you go, that's it, no more. This is what's happening now, I'm doing it. That's change. Change happens, there's a trigger that happens, and then there's a process you have to fulfill afterwards where you go from who you are now to who you want to be. So I had one of those triggers recently, and I was sitting with my new little grandson. His name is Remy. He's just coming up to a year old. This weekend is his first birthday party. And this was maybe about 5-6 months ago. And I was listening, I was playing with him, and I had a headphone on, and I was listening in one ear to the Lost Boys podcast. And they were talking about the gender wars and, how, there's this, we're in this binary part of history where, you have to take a side. And in the gender wars, you're either, you're for women or you're against women. And, it didn't make sense to me because I've got 2 daughters and I've got a grandson and I love them equally. So why can't I fight for them equally? And so I'm told I have to take a side in this, and I'm not. I'm taking a direction, which is what Best Grandad is all about. The truth is layers. Young men are struggling. They're falling behind in school. They're struggling with dating and connection. And they're more and more showing up in morgues, and they're showing up in prisons, and they're going down online rabbit holes. And meanwhile, women, rightfully so, happily so, are surging forward, and with good reason. And it's this hard-earned momentum. I mean, they're dominating education. They're navigating a workplace that is still tilted against them. I mean, it's hard. And they're dealing with real fears about their safety, about their rights, and about their opportunities. So there are 2 truths happening here at once. The patriarchy never worked for women. And the collapse of it is confusing the hell out of young men. So it gets back to this thing. I'm told I have to pick a side. Well, I'm not, because which is more important? I mean, really, does it have to be men versus women? To me, this is not a blame game. It's a wake-up call. There are bigger problems that face all of us. So when I'm listening to this and thinking about this, I'm looking at my little grandson, Remy, and I'm thinking, you beautiful, beautiful boy. They're saying, part of the gender wars thing they're saying is, men aren't part of the problem, men are the problem. And I'm looking at Remy, little boy, and I go, well, as far as I can see, you are not part of this problem. And I'm not going to idly sit by and allow you, and for me to do nothing and allow for you to become part of this problem, for whatever that is. So anyway, that was a trigger. I thought, I'm not going to sit back. I'm going to step up and I'm going to do something about this. So this idea of the Best Grandad Project came, and, I've been thinking about this and evolving this over the last, really 5 months or so. So what I've got it down to is this idea of generations growing together. So if you get better men, you're going to get better kids. and the two can work together. So kids, especially boys, need male mentors now, but they're not getting them. And there are older men out there, they're struggling to find purpose. I mean, I got all these friends who are retiring, and I ask, what are you going to do? I don't really know. I go, I got something for you here. So I see kids down here who need mentoring and men who need purpose. If I can bring these two together somehow, that's the best Grandad Project. So how I've thought about this, there's 3 pillars, how I'm going to do this. Play, presence, and purpose. I'll just go through basically what they are. So play. Turns out that kids crave freedom. So, all this, talk about, the smartphone and online are the problems. And, kids are addicted to the dopamine hits just as much as adults. But they've done this research recently in the States, and I actually asked kids, when you're online and you're gaming, and what is it that you're actually liking? What is it? And turns out they want freedom. They want freedom to play in the park without hovering parents. They want freedom to walk down a grocery aisle on their own. They want freedom from yet another scheduled activity, another ballet class, another team training. And right now, the place that they can find that freedom is online, because the internet has become an escape hatch from this overprotected, overstructured life that we've created for them. And how's that working out so far? So this idea that they want freedom, well, one thing, my kids have all grown up with what I call this concept of risky play. So, that's letting kids go out there and, learn. A scraped knee heals faster than a broken spirit, basically. So I got this idea so that's my thinking with play, is that, so how can I give other granddads this skill? So I'm going to be this conduit to take what I already know about play, and I'm really deep diving into it now. And I'm going to help granddads let their kids give their kids the space to explore, to climb, to get muddy, while always keeping just at arm's length, away. Safety is always there, but it's giving kids that space to explore and that freedom to play. And then the next thing is presence. We're all scrolling out there. See it all the time. I do it as well. And attention is rare. So kids can spot fake interest a mile away. And, they know when you're just nodding along and your mind's not really there. So what they want and what they need is someone who can listen, without rushing, who can watch them without judging them, just simply be there with them, for them. Now, not all granddads have the time. We've all got different circumstances. But if we do have the time and we choose to give it, that time becomes a gift more valuable than anything that money can buy. So that's the second one, presence. So we got play, presence. And the third one is purpose. Again, this is friends of mine and people look around, men who are retiring. They say the 2 most dangerous days of a man's life are the day they are born, the day they retire. So older men often struggle with the roles that define them, the worker, the provider, the decision maker. And when they retire, those roles fade away. Retirement, of course, can bring freedom, but it can also bring emptiness for a lot of men. So I think that mentoring kids can help fill that gap. And it's going to remind men that they still have this wisdom that's worth sharing. They've got stories that are worth telling. They've got hands worth offering to help. So this is not about fixing every problem, not at all. It's about helping the next generation build their strength to face their own problems. So that's what the purpose is. So with play, with presence, and with purpose, if we can get granddads to show up with those, everyone wins. We get better men, we get better kids, we get a better world. Lofty, I know, but that's the goal that I'm heading for. Look, I've got big plans for this along the way, and I must say that this whole thing, that this podcast and my writing, is going to be me learning out loud, because I don't know what I'm doing. But I do know how to change. All through my life, I've reinvented myself, and I'm going to use the same processes, and you can follow along. And if you think that you don't know how to change, just watch how I do it. And it's messy. It's not perfect. And one of the things is reaching out to other people, which has been a problem all my life. I mean, I'm very self-reliant, and that is very useful, but also very, very harmful. It slows the process down. Anyway, I want to say a big thank you to Sally Porteous. Sally is in the event world, and I reached out to her just to run some ideas past her. And she told me something really important. She said, start where you are, because I had this mapped out for when kids were for little, when they were, preschool, when they were primary school, and then teenagers. And just slow down. What are you? You're a new granddad. So you can help and speak to others who are new granddads too. So, my little grandson Remy, he's just 1 year old. That's where I'm at the moment. So she suggested just focus on that. So I came up with this idea to create a local hands-on event, and it is called the New Grandad Club. And so this is where it's going to start. And it's first one's running out in Brisbane, where I live here, in about 4 weeks' time. I don't know if anyone's going to turn up. I hope so. But I've been out there promoting it. And it's this idea to just get granddads who don't think they could grab their, grandkids for a couple of hours and come down. And it's at this old bowling club. So it's, big flat greens. Kids can all run and go free range. We can just have a drink or just have a beer and maybe talk about some, things about being a granddad that, none of us really know. I'm learning as I go. One of the topics I'd love to talk about in this first incarnation of the New Grandad Club is discipline. I don't know what my role as a disciplinarian is and how that's going to play out. I mean, I've been through it as a parent, but I'm now one level removed. So these, just a light discussion and to start talking about other things, than sport. We can talk about it as sport, but these are the things that blokes don't talk about. And the whole idea of this is to really give the granddads the confidence, because then it means they can help the parents of their grandkids, because parents are so time stressed, so time poor these days. If you can take the grandkids away for a couple of hours and give them some free time on their own, that is a gift. And what's a win for this? A win for this is, these kids are a little young to say, but if the kids want to go again and do it again, like that was great, can we do this again? Bingo. To me, that okay, we've had a win there. So look, that's the idea. I just wanted to jump on and introduce myself, my thinking around this. And to say that what I'm going to do with this podcast is I'm going to do it weekly, and it's just going to be week 1, week 2, week 3, and if I can find a general topic for it, I will. I mean, that's going to that helps with being found and searchability. But really, I'm not going to try to make it a series of lessons and lectures, and that it's really about, look, this is where I am. And you hopefully will learn something from it. But and like I said, this is going to be me using my process of learning, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. I mean, I've got a bit of a structure here, but I'm stumbling and stuttering, and but it doesn't matter. My purpose is, can I help somebody out there improve their situation? If that happens, well then, okay, this has been a win too. All right, well, hooroo, and I'll catch you next week.